Greetings, it's Iain here. Welcome to a Saturday special, whatever you want to call it. And of course, it's with Richard. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you on this rather dull and slightly damp day?
It's dull and damp here. We haven't been out. That's how dull and damp. We have not gone for a walk.
I think Rocky needs the sunshine to go out.
He does. He did go out yesterday, but he he doesn't want to go out because he'll go out and do what he needs to, and he scuttles in.
Right. Yeah.
That's right too. Anyway, as the title says, two's the limit, and I'm sure everyone knows what we're doing today. All those songs less than 2 minutes.
Yep. And I have got 5 bubbling unders.
I've got 6.
You beat me.
One of them could be debatable if it is actually a song.
Oh, okay. I look forward to that one then.
Yeah, it's actually the last one, right at the end. So as usual, Richard goes first, I'll go second, and we'll see what we get this time.
Okay, at number 10 for me, coming in at 1 minute and 43 seconds, is from T-Rex and from their Tanks album. And it's just a blast of shock rock. And it's got a cracking little chorus. It's almost like a song that's never been completed, but it's so good. It's just verse, chorus, end. Brilliant stuff from my favorite T-Rex album. I love it. And it also got on the Great Hits album from 1973 as well. So it was one of the few LP tracks that got onto that album. So shock rock from T-Rex, number 10.
Do you think it was something they were playing with and they couldn't finish it, and they just liked it so much they just put it on the album?
Possibly.
Yeah, good start. I like that as well. It's just
No, I'm not going to say what a lot of people call it, but put it this way: rooster rock. Another word for rooster rock. Put it that way.
Yes. Okay, my number 10 comes in at 1 minute 16. It's from 1981, and it's called Prologue from ELO's Time.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
It's beautiful, isn't it? It sets the tone of the album.
Yes, and it works so well going into Twilight.
Yeah.
I
have to put that in because it's just...
And it actually works better than the epilogue at the end, which is more or less the same thing.
Yeah.
It works better.
It's just that lovely voice effect that Jeff's used. It's just brilliant.
Well, I'll put it this way: I cannot play Twilight without having Prologue. So I mixed the two of them together and created an MP3 of a 1-track Prologue stroke Twilight. I love it that much. Okay, my number 9 is the opener to Elvis Costello's This Year's Model album, and it's No Action, and it comes in at 1:58. So 2 seconds to spare. And the keyboards by Steve Neve, or Steve Naive, I can never say which one it is absolutely brilliant. And Elvis spits out this song. It's my favorite track off that whole album. I just love it. A brilliant album produced by Nick Lowe, No Action. My number 9 at 1:58.
Yeah, I think that one, again, some of these short lap tracks, I think they are things that they were working on, but they just love it so much they have to put it on, and I think that's another fine example. That could have gone into something else, but it's a great blast of music. Great, that's a good one as well. Okay, I've got this. This has got a funny title. Now this comes from 1972, and it comes in at 1 minute and 21 seconds, and it's from Crazy Horse without Neil Young on their Loose album, and it's called "And She Won't Even Blow Smoke in My Direction." It's just, I don't know if it's them just jamming, I mean, it's got a lovely little bit of drum from Ralph Molina. It's lovely. it doesn't really fit on the album at all, but it's there and it is so nice.
I honestly don't know it. So, is it like a proggy? Is it like a?
No, it's more of a cowboy thing. It's
Oh,
like a cowboy song with some harmonica and.
all right. Okay.
Yeah, it's really strange, but it's lovely.
Yeah. No. As I say, don't know it, but I trust your judgment. Well, my number 8 is from Stiff Little Fingers, and it's on their Inflammable Material album, and it comes in at 1 minute dead, and it's Here We Are Nowhere from side 1. Absolutely love it. Really, really good, catchy as hell. He races through, even though it's 1 minute long, he gets a lot of words in there. He's racing through it so quickly, and I just think it's magnificent. And it's one of my favorite tracks off the album. 1 minute long, Here We Are Nowhere by Stiff Little Fingers.
Yeah, great track. It's a shame that it's not longer, but you're right. I've never known anyone sing so quickly to get the words.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you look at the lyrics, you go, how can he get all that in 1 minute?
1 minute, I know.
Okay, my number 8 stays in that punk thing. It's from the Ramones debut album. Comes in at 1 minute and 32. And it's Judy is a Punk.
I'm not going to say very much about that.
No, but yeah. It's got everything in 1 minute 32. It's got the great singing. It's got some great drums. It's got a guitar solo.
Mm-hmm.
It's got everything in a minute and a half.
Yeah, Morrissey does a pretty good version of it as well, believe it or not.
Yeah, I've heard that. That's pretty good as well.
Yeah, well, we will be talking about that shortly. Well, my number 7 is from the Beach Boys, and it's from their Surfing USA album, and it's Farmer's Daughter, which I think is a really, really good song. It's one of Brian Wilson's best, really early songs. And Fleetwood Mac, a cover of it, a studio cover for their live album. It is a studio cover with Lindsay singing it. It's just like a really, really good song. It's melodic. It's very catchy, and it just runs nice and smoothly. Beautiful song at 1 minute 49. The Beach Boys, Farmer's Daughter.
Yeah, it's a nice song. Yeah, I like that one as well. And I've heard, and I think Lindsey Buckingham does a decent job of it.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I like the Fleetwood Mac version.
Okay, my number 7 is the shortest one in my list, and it comes in at 42 seconds. It's from 1982, and it's on the Judas Priest album Screaming for Vengeance, and it is the Helion. Now, it runs with Electric Eye, but the first 42 seconds is Helion, and it's basically Glenn Tipton and KK Dowling just shredding together, melodic, and you get a little bit of drum from Dave Holland, and then it does go into Electric Eye, but it's the classic heavy metal twin guitar thing. And you need that, and it's again, you don't play that on its own normally because you go straight to Electric Eye, but it is there as it's announced on its standout track, so that's why it's in there at 42 seconds.
So it's almost like an intro track to that next song.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Well, my number 6 is a song I've mentioned before on your channel. In fact, it was on the tag that we did. And it's Nick Lowe's I Don't Want the Night to End at 1 minute and 57. It was the B-side of Halfway to Paradise. It's a far better song. It's like a punchy new wave song. It's very, very fast. Almost in the same sort of vein as the Ramones. I think it's absolutely brilliant. And for it to be lost as a B-side is a disgrace. Brilliant track from 1977, I Don't Want the Night to End by Nick Lowe.
Now, when we did do that video, I'd never heard that track, so I went on and found it, and I totally agree with you. It is. Why was it a B-side?
Yeah. It's a fantastic song.
It is a great song. Okay, my number 6 is actually the shortest record to ever get to number 1 in the UK. At 1 minute and 38 seconds. It's from 1959. It's Adam Faith.
All right.
What do you want when you done?
All right. I didn't know that.
It's a lovely tune.
Whenever you said that the shortest number 1, for some reason I always thought it was Elvis Presley's Party, but obviously not. I know it was one with something or other. Oh, good choice. Good choice. Well, my number 5, I'll just mention it now, and it is Ramones' Judy as a Punk from the debut album. And I said, I love it. In fact, that first album, those first 3 songs are so damn good. You've got Blitzkrieg Bop, then you've got Beat on the Brat, and then you have Judy as a Punk. Absolutely fantastic. But Judy as a Punk is probably my second favourite Ramones song behind Susie as a Headbanger. But it's over 2 minutes, I'm afraid, so I couldn't include it. So Judy as a Punk, my number 5.
Yeah, it is a great song. Okay, my number 5, it comes in at 1 minute and 41 from 1972, and it starts the second side of Foxtrot, and it is Steve Hackett's wonderful little piece called Horizons.
It's completely forgotten about. It is so buried there. People think that Foxtrot Side 2 is just Supper's Ready. It's not. It's the 2 tracks. But I think if they had have put it on at the very, very end of Side 1, it would have got more recognition.
I think it's one of the... I mean, he's right. I had so many... I wanted to do a Steve Hackett, and there were so many that's about just under 2 minutes. But it kept coming back to Horizons. It's beautiful.
It is.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Well, my number 4 is from 1977, and it's from David Bowie. That's from his Low album, 1 minute 52. It's Breaking Glass.
Oh,
now, he did extend it whenever he did it live, but the live version is not as good as the single version. And also in Australia, they extended it for release as a single. But basically, all they did was cut and paste a bit, copy and paste a bit to make it over nearly 3 minutes. But at 1 minute 52, I just think it's absolutely perfect. It's the second track off the album. It's the first song that he actually sings on the album because Speed of Life is an instrumental. But brilliant track. And it was actually a live single a year later. Over 2 minutes, but not as good as the original. So Breaking Glass is my number 4.
Yeah, you just wonder if that was a little bit of pressure from record company. We want this to sing.
Probably, yeah.
Because if David, David just okay, but I mean, I just like how he didn't do anything extra. He just cut and pasted it. I think that was his way of saying, nah, that's all you're going to get.
He probably had nothing to do with it. It's probably the record company said, this is good enough to be a single, but it is too short. So what we'll do is we'll copy that first section and repeat it. And it works. It really does work, but I still prefer the way it was.
Okay. Where are we? My number 4. Now, this is from 1973. It comes in at 1 minute 45. There is a longer version featuring a Vivian Stanshall.
I know what you're talking about.
But the version on the original Tubular Bells, and it is, of course, his little ditty, or his version of the Sailor's Hornpipe. Diddle. I love it.
So do I. That's great. It actually breaks that whole... It's a bit of... Side 2 of Tubular Bells is quite atmospheric, and it's quite folky in places. But this just raises everything at the very, very end. I think it's the perfect way to end that album. With
it's a bit of fun.
Yeah. And it came out as part of the 4-track EP that he released in 78 with Recorder Rondo and Sailor's Hornpipe. And I think in Dulce Jubilo and Portsmouth were on that white vinyl 12-inch EP. So
Yeah.
he did get a single release, but yeah, great track. Well, my number 3 is from 1971, and it's the opening track to Cat Stevens' Teaser and the Firecat, and it's The Wind, coming in at 1 minute and 42, which is one of the most beautiful little songs out. And the way Cat Stevens sings it, the way he sort of drops the tone of the voice at the end of each verse is absolutely gorgeous. And then it itself goes into a track called Ruby Love, which is much more uplifting, but The Wind to me is one of his best ever tracks, and that's only 1 minute and 42.
Yeah, I don't think you can play one without the other.
No, I agree with you.
It runs smoothly because you've got this real genteel, and then it goes boom. It comes that lovely tones and voice. Yeah, what a great choice. Okay, my number 3 is actually a single from 1963, coming in at 1 minute and 58. It's from the Beatles. From Me to You. It's one of my favourite Beatles songs.
Oh, very good. That's not one of mine, but very good. I think it's one of the weaker ones, but it's nice to hear. It's so refreshing to hear somebody say From Me to You is one of their favourites. It really is. Yeah,
I've always liked it as a kid. I think it's the catchy chorus.
Da 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 dum dum da.
Daddy dum dum da. That's how it ends. I love how it ends as well. It's a dum da. That's it, done.
Very good. Well, my number 2 is from one of your all-time favorite albums, believe it or not. And coming in at 1 minute and 49 is Simon Garfunkel's Song for the Asking from Bridge Over Troubled Water. It's an absolutely stunning little number. It really is. And as the applaud goes out on Bye Bye Love, which I do like, I know you're not as keen on that version. And then it just goes into a little bit of, sort of a little orchestra. And then he starts plucking away and singing Song for the Asking. It's an absolutely beautiful song and a fantastic way to finish the album. So that's my number 2, Simon Garfunkel, Song for the Asking.
Yeah, when you listen to the lyrics of that, it's quite apt, isn't it? That's the end. This is it. No more.
Yeah, that's it. I know.
And I think that's a great song. Yeah, I love that song. Okay, my number 2, we're going to do a bit of heavy metal.
Okay.
It's from 1981. It comes in at 1 minute and 45, and it's the first thing on the Killers album. It's called Ides of March, which has probably got some of the best drumming Clive Burr did with Iron Maiden. It's been short, but it goes into Rothschild. That's the next track. Now, when I saw them when they did the tour, when they just played all the old hits, they came out, they didn't play it, but it was played before they went into Rothschild. And to hear that on a big sound, and to hear Clive Burr was brilliant. I love that. It's just, I think if you heard it, and if you've seen any Iron Maiden clips, they always sort of sometimes play this bit of music. So you may know that.
I might know it. Killers that's the one before Bruce Dickinson joined, is that correct?
His last album.
Ah, right, okay. And he died recently, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, yes.
Yeah. Well, my number 1, and that's not really a big surprise, it comes in at 1 minute and 50. It was a B-side of the Smiths, William, It Was Really Nothing, and it's Please, Please, Please Let Me Get What I Want, which is stunningly beautiful. And it's not just the singing, it's the music, especially at the end. Johnny Marr's, what do you call it? What's that instrument that, I can't remember the name of the instrument, but it's absolutely gorgeous, and I've always loved it. And if you think about it, the 12-inch single of that, William, was probably one of the best 12-inch singles ever, because it had William, Please, Please, Please Let Me Get What I Want, and How Soon Is Now. So absolutely fantastic track, and that's my number 1.
Yeah, I've heard that a couple of times. It's when I'm not, because it's a bit side.
The mandolin. I couldn't get the name of the mandolin. It's beautiful.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it proves what such a that musician Johnny Marr is. I mean, the mandolin. I've been told it's not the easiest instrument to play.
No.
And yeah, that was the striking thing I liked about it, was that mandolin. Okay, my number one comes in at 1 minute and 7 seconds. From 1975, it is on Night of the Opera.
Right.
And it's easy on a Sunday afternoon.
Oh, very good.
I think is a very 30s sort of sounding track.
It is.
But of course, the thing that really is, it's the Brian May guitar solo that is just absolutely okay. He's overdubbed it 2 or 3 times, but the sound of it is brilliant. And what I like about it, it ends and it goes lovely into Roger Taylor's "I'm in Love with My Car."
It does.
Short tracks like that work. I mean, you've got that first 2 tracks on that album. It's Death on Two Legs.
Yeah.
That all that ends suddenly, and then you get that lovely Freddie piano at the beginning. So, yeah,
it's almost a case where you must listen to those 3 songs in a row.
Yeah, you don't play what you've got to
merge. Yeah, if you were to merge the 3 of them into one big long track, it would be totally acceptable.
And then after that, you get You're My Best Friend. So it's 4 killer tracks opening up that.
A brilliant album.
Yeah, so there we go. There's some good ones in there. So, just
my bubbling unders. There's one that you might put your head in your hands. But anyway, the first bubbling under is a B-side, and it's Elton John's Jack Rabbit coming in at 1 minute 50. It was the B-side of Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting. And it's like a little sort of southern country redneck type song. It's fantastic. The next one is actually the official original release, came in at 1 minute 13. And it's the Pretenders' Tequila from their album Lasting Independence. Now, it was first recorded in the 80s, longer version for the Learning to Crawl sessions, but was never released. But Tequila, love it. The third one is from Vampire Weekend, and it's the last track on their Vampires of the City album, a Young Lion, or Modern Vampires of the City. And it's absolutely beautiful. It's 1 minute and 45. Really, really good.
Yeah, beautiful. I like that. I think that's
beautiful, tinkling piano, and it's wonderful. Fourth one is from the Clash's debut album at 1 minute 52, and it's Career Opportunities. Absolutely brilliant. And then they mullered it a couple of albums later when they did a different version for Sandinista, which is terrible, but the original version is brilliant. And my last one at 1 minute from 1975, and it's from Wings. That's the Crossroads theme. I've always loved it. I've always loved the Crossroads theme. And I remember them actually watching Crossroads and that version of the theme come on. It must have been for about a year, and then they changed it back to the original, but I've loved it. I love the guitar work on it. It must be Jimmy McCulloch that plays guitar. But beautiful track. I think it finishes Venus and Mars perfectly, especially after the track Lonely Old People.
Yeah. I mean, they used to play that bit when there's something dramatic, someone died.
Aye.
But it really is. It is a good little tune.
It is. I just wonder, a Tony Hatch tune, like, but it's really, really good.
Tony Hatch. I mean, he wrote something. I mean, he could write great themes, old Tony.
He was a big songwriter for Chula Clark as well. So he was.
Yes, he was. Yes. Okay, my bubbling unders. Now, my first one comes from 1982, and it's on a soundtrack of a film called One from the Heart, and it's done. Well, the people that do the soundtrack is Tom Waits and Crystal Gale, which is not a combination you really think of in music, but they do a little thing called Presence, and basically it's Tom twinkling on a piano, lounge music sort of thing, but in the background. It's lovely. I think it's one of them things that Tom was just twiddling around, and I thought, oh, we'll record that. Love that little bit of music. Okay, my next one comes from 1985, coming in at 1 minute 53, and it's the second song on side 2 of Misplaced Childhood, Lords of the Backstage. I just love the bass and Peter Harris on that, and there's just some lovely keyboards. It's very short, but it's important because it then goes into the magnificent blind curve. So it's there for a reason. Okay, my next one is from 1983. It's from Pink Floyd, and it's on the Final Cut album, and it's Get Your Filthy Hands Off My Desert, which is a bit of a tongue-in-cheek thing for Mr. Waters, because it talks about Beirut, Begin took Beirut, and then you get an overlook. Gaultier took the Union Jack, and over lunch one day, Maggie sent a cruiser.
That's not a bad album, actually.
It's a rubbish Pink Floyd album, but an excellent Roger Waters.
Yeah, okay, I'll go that way.
Okay, we're going to do some power metal now from German band Halloween off their Keeper of the Seven Keys, and it's the last little bit. It comes in at 1 minute 48. It's called Follow the Sign. Now it's got a wonderful solo piece by Kai Hansen, the guitarist, and you've got Michael Keith doing this whispery voice. It's eerie. It's not at all metal. It's just eerie. And then my next one comes from 1971, 1 minute 40, and it's off Fragile. Oh yes, and it's We Have Heaven. I think it's very quaint. I think you could see it as a round.
Yeah.
My next one, it's 1 minute 44. And is this a song? It's from Van Halen's debut album, and it's Eruption.
I don't know.
Which goes into their version of You Really Got Me. But is it a song or is it a guitar solo?
Doesn't matter.
Today, it's magnificent, and I have actually seen Eddie Van Halen play that on stage. That's all the way. They use a little bit of it in Back to the Future.
Right. Okay.
You've seen Back to the Future. It's where Marty's got that suit, that yellow suit, and he gets his tape and plays it to his dad.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's that guitar bit, yeah.
Okay.
But the good news is, as these are all very short, they're all going in a playlist today, so you'll get them all today.
Excellent.
So there we go. I really enjoyed doing that.
I enjoyed it as well. So I did. I had a huge list. I had to cut it way down.
Yeah, there's so many little bits from. There's little bits of Queen. There's little bits of. There's some Jar stuff that I had to cut out, which and there's other stuff from Mike Oldfield as well. So yeah. So we'll be back in a fortnight. I don't know if it was with Simon or just me and Richard. We haven't quite decided yet, but I have come up with an idea while we was doing this. So I'll tell you what we. So how many listeners say it's goodbye from me?
I hope I get this right. And it's goodbye from Ed.
No, you got it wrong. Dan, you got it wrong.
Dan.
No,
you're not.
I'm there, yeah.
According to me, you're not. According to me, you're there. According to this, but whichever way, who is right?
You'll probably see you soon. Bye for now.
Okay, bye.